So while the Van Riesimas of the world may be super passionate about farming, it turns out farmland, thanks to U.S. tax policy, is a mighty convenient place to park one's wealth. Add in increasing pressure on global food production due to the Russia-Ukraine war, climate change-fueled weather events, and a population soaring to nearly 10 billion people by 2050. And it's no surprise billionaires like Bill Gates, corporations, and foreign interests are quietly buying up farmland as fast as possible. They're staking their claim on a precarious food future while the rest of us, time-starved and increasingly living paycheck to paycheck, become more reliant on corporate-produced foodstuffs. Even peasants in medieval Europe had more autonomy. Historical returns from farmland have outpaced many other more popular investments like the S&P 500, NASDAQ, gold, and multi-unit real estate, enthuses Tillable.com, an Airbnb-type startup purporting to connect landowners and farmers, which, like Airbnb, has raised concerns about driving up the cost of land even more. In other words, ensuring a future where the super rich own the land and beginning farmers have no alternative but to rent. After all, the latter demographic isn't even likely to earn a viable living. 64% of small farmers have to work a second job. And then there are the farm workers, a human rights nightmare of largely undocumented immigrants that is the linchpin of our entire industrial agricultural system of cheap food. Hearing Jonathan's lead about tax breaks was disheartening, as was our conversation that followed in the compost area. The sun was setting, I was shivering, and Matt had to head to Fright Night, but I made the mistake of asking Jonathan a doozy. What had to change so that small-scale farming, without the underpinning of independent wealth, could become a livable existence? "Do you want me to be pessimistic or optimistic?" he asked. Though this time I could tell Farmer Jonathan wasn't setting up a punchline. It's not going to change. Our entire system is predicated on food being inexpensive. He explained the catch-22. If industrial civilization could keep food, a basic necessity of life, cheap, then people would continue to work their industrial jobs to pay for that cheap food, even as other necessities like land and housing skyrocketed. But keeping the production cost of food low on increasingly expensive land drove even more industrialization and technologization in farming. The growing systems they're building in China and Korea, where they're huge square blocks, they're super efficient. They recycle the water, they recycle the heat, they can grow tons of greens, but it's all just factory trying to work it into a different model.